But moving on to our next topic, we got another CEO change in a major industry. James Gunn, who you guys know, who is responsible for the Guardians of the Galaxy project at Marvel, as well as the new Suicide Squad movie and Peacemaker, is co-CEO of DC. What are they calling it now? DC Studios, alongside Peter Safran, which I've learned is the producer behind Aquaman and the Conjuring franchise. So they are both co-CEOs of DC Studios.
That's some unique job experience. Aquaman and the Conjuring, like I like. That's very unique.
For real though. But I think the Conjuring is under Warner Brothers, so I guess it makes a bit of sense. But when this news came out, I remember you asked, like, what does co-CEO mean?
Right.
And the only way that I took the news is that that James Gunn was going to be over a subset of things, and then Peter Safran was going to be a subset of things. And after doing my research, this is the case. I was reading on IGN that James Gunn is going to be over DC movies, TV shows, and animation. And Safran is going to be over, like, the business side of it. So I guess that includes, like, financials and things like that.
Sounds like Safran should have been the CFO then, Chief Financial Officer.
What it sounds like to me is that because it's James Gunn and he already has some projects under his belt, that my opinion is that James Gunn wasn't originally supposed to be CEO. And I feel like he wouldn't take any other position but CEO. So they was like, okay, we're going to make you guys co-CEOs.
Yeah, like the work he does, that sounds like executive or director of entertainment or something of that nature. Because the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, it makes sense for them to step into the CEO role since they got to manage all the business. So it's like,
I don't know what went on in the room where they negotiated these titles, but that's how they said they're gonna split it. I also heard that James Gunn is going to continue to direct projects exclusively for DC, with the deal expected to last at least 4 years. So I'm bringing up this statement because this is going back to the thing where Warner Brothers Discovery said they have a 10-year plan for DC content. So it looks like, based off this news, possibly 4 of those years is going to belong to James Gunn. And I am interested to see how James Gunn is going to tap into the DC universe and what story he's going to tell. Like, we've seen Suicide Squad, and I liked the new Suicide Squad movie, but it felt like Guardians of the Galaxy. And Peacemaker kind of felt like that too. And it was funny. It had the comedy aspects, but what does a James Gunn DC Universe vision looks like when you have to include Superman, which we know that Henry Cavill is coming back into the fold as Superman? What does that look like for characters like Batman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman, and whoever else they plan on including in this new DC universe?
And I know we're going to do our mob review. James Gunn wasn't too involved with the Black Adam movie, was he?
No.
See, I don't know, because you're naming a lot of... Well, Suicide Squad had dark moments, but it's like, I hope that they still manage... I hope that he does enough to still give DC its identity, and they finally get off of Marvel's I can't say that. That's
Coattails.
inappropriate. Coattails. There we go. That's appropriate. I hope that they ain't just. Yeah, I hope they just aren't sitting here like, okay, we got to be the lighthearted, still fun, still actiony Marvel. We got to be the DC version of that. I hope that they still maintain that side of DC, that identity that is dark and gritty and rough. Like, I like having the opposite end of the coin. I don't want two heads. Like, I don't know.
I would only say, because I'm a big DC fan and I've read, and this was my issue for the DCEU before James Gunn even stepped into the fold, was that there are so many stories inside of DC that Warner Brothers could expand on and build their universe around. And I'm curious to know what stories he's going to tap in to build out this universe and how true to those stories he's going to stick to it. Right. Because if we want to go into his success with Guardians of the Galaxy was his piece inside of a larger piece. So the larger piece was already planned out. He was just, filling in his role inside of that big picture. James Gunn, with him being CEO, now owns that whole picture. He owns that whole vision of what the DC universe is going to look like moving forward.
And he's over animation too, so I wonder how is he going to move forward with the animated movies and the animated series? How many more are they going to make? Are they going to integrate that in a Cartoon Network? Like, because it's not just the cinema part; it's everything, huh?
It's movies, TV shows, and animation, and I'm not really sure how the animation is going to go, because we talked about this in the last episode with them merging Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers. So now with them sharing production teams and stuff, I would like to know what his priority is, because I've seen James Gunn produce movies, and we've seen Peacemaker, which James Gunn is also responsible for. So we've seen movies and we've seen TV shows, but we haven't seen what animation is going to look like under him. And it could be that, I don't know, he could put somebody else in charge of animation, because since the animation and the movies and the TV shows aren't linked like that, like they exist in their own realm, I guess I'm curious to see how he's going to do the movies and the TV shows. Like, is he going to do like a Marvel thing where you guys got to watch these movies and you guys got to be familiar with these TV shows to understand what's coming next?
Right.
So,
and to be honest, I'd rather he keep it more so episodic, because so far the episodic stuff for DC, at least the DCEU, has been working. At least for me. Even when it comes to the animated movies, allowing, like, here's a story here, here's a story here, here's a world over there. Even if you miss these other two, you can still enjoy this third one. You know what I mean? I kind of like that trend. It's different. It's unique.
Like I said, I'm just interested to see what he does with it. I think that Warner Brothers Discovery is really focused on building out a DC universe, because they have not successfully done it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think they're focused on making a united universe, because they know they have all these characters and they know they have all these stories that they could tell. It would only make sense for you guys to build out a universe. So I'm interested to see what a James Gunn, Peter Safran DC universe looks like. What characters are going to be highlighted? We know that Superman is coming back, but who's going to be the next Batman standing beside him? Are they going to keep Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman? Are they going to keep Jason Momoa as Aquaman? And, things like that. Like, who's going to be the next Flash following all the controversy surrounding Ezra?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what characters they focus on. Is the Justice League going to be a focus? Or are they going to say, okay, we're tired of the Justice League and we move on to some other superhero group, the JSA, stuff like that. So we'll see. I guess the other thing that came with this news is that it was stated that not every DC project is going to go under James Gunn. So specific examples that they pulled out was Todd Phillips' Joker is going to exist outside of that. Matt Reeves' Batman with Robert Pattinson and them are going. Is they said it's in a gray area, but it sounds like that's not going to go under them either. So,
Rob Pattinson's Batman. I need 2 more movies. I need this to be like my new Dark Knight trilogy for me.
They need to give him a trilogy and call it a day.
Yeah, you saw my review for the Batman. I absolutely loved it. I need trilogy that man. Let him get what he deserves and do whatever y'all want in the other end. Because this was a hit for me. This was a hit. And the Joker movie. Those are hits for me.
I think it would just depend on how well they execute. Now, another execution thing is how well can James Gunn and Peter Safran execute their vision for the DC universe. Because I feel like Warner Brothers started investing in outside movies like the Joker and the Batman because the stuff that they were making inside of the DCEU wasn't getting them what they wanted. So, okay, let's make this off the books Joker movie. Let's make this off the books the Batman movie, while we try to figure out what's going on inside of this universe.
Right.
And I feel like now that they have done it and both of those projects made bank, they're gonna want to keep that bank. So they're gonna let that drag on. But it's just what happens after, the Batman trilogy is done. What happens after they finish making the Joker movies that they've signed up for. We gonna see.
All right, Warner Brothers.
I'm still not sure if this is a positive yet. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see what they got planned. What's up, y'all? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get more updates from the mob. For the full discussion and more discussions like this one, click the link in the description. Thanks for watching.
Rock with it, let me pop my shit. Let me pop my shit. Hands up.